Hello, I'm Nikki Newman. This is my official YouTube channel. Please subscribe and support us.
The Young and the Restless spoilers full. Welcome back to our channel. It is a fantastic Tuesday evening, and we are diving deep into the latest Genoa City drama. Grab a snack, settle in, and let's unravel the tangled webs our favorite characters are weaving today. Okay, so I've been thinking about this, and I honestly can't stop thinking about Abby and Devon. It's bugging me. It's really, really bugging me. I was watching that scene in Chancellor Park again. I think it was yesterday's episode. Or maybe Tuesday's, somewhere around there. Anyway, Devon walks up to Abby and is all, "Are you going to avoid me forever?" And it just hit me. This marriage is completely, fundamentally doomed. I mean, not exactly doomed like they're signing divorce papers tomorrow, but kind of. Actually, no wait, let me back up. First, I should mention why they're fighting, because it's not just a normal married couple spat. It's about Mariah. Devon is literally on a warpath right now. He went behind Abby's back to try and overturn Mariah's plea deal. He wants her in prison. He's calling it justice, but Abby is calling it revenge. And who is right here? I keep going back and forth. On one hand, Mariah did some messed up stuff. On the other hand, Devon is being so cold. Ice cold. It's weird. Really weird. The whole thing is just weird. He's looking at his wife, who is clearly hurting, and he's basically if we send her to prison, is that the worst outcome, bro? Read the room. Your wife is visibly upset and you're just doubling down on your vendetta. But wait, what was I saying? Oh, right, Abby's reaction. Here's what we need to remember about Abby Newman Abbott Chancellor Winters. Whenever she feels emotionally abandoned or disconnected, what does she do? She cheats. I know I just said the opposite in my head, but hear me out. Look at what happened with Chance. Chance was struggling with his trauma. He was emotionally unavailable. And what did Abby do? She slept with Devon. The irony here is just chef's kiss. Or maybe not a chef's kiss. Maybe it's just tragic. I don't know, but the pattern is undeniably there. She seeks comfort in another man when her primary relationship gets tough. It's a coping mechanism, a terrible, destructive coping mechanism, but a coping mechanism nonetheless. So who is the other man right now? Daniel Romelodi Jr. Yes, Daniel. Okay, wait. I need to explain the Daniel situation because it's a whole separate mess of psychological baggage. Daniel has been going through an absolute emotional blender lately. First, he was grieving Heather Stevens' tragic, awful, terrible. I mean, the grief storyline was heavy, and we all felt for him. Then, out of nowhere, he catches feelings for Tessa Porter. What? I didn't see that coming at all. I think it was episode 12 or 13, somewhere around there. They had this weird trauma bond chemistry. He actually thought they were going to be a thing. He was ready to jump into a whole new relationship. But then Tessa slammed the brakes and threw him straight back into the friend zone. And the craziest part, Daniel actually told Tessa she needs to make up with Mariah. He pushed the woman he likes back toward her wife. That is some serious character growth for Daniel. Or maybe he's just a glutton for punishment. But anyway, the point is, wait, what was the point? Oh, right, Daniel is lonely. He's emotionally raw. He's stuck in this awkward friend zone phase with Tessa, complaining about his canceled Barcelona trip because of Tessa's situation changing. Actually, speaking of complaining, did you catch that scene where Daniel interrupted Danny and Christine? Probably doesn't matter, but I noticed it and it was so awkward. Danny just got back from Barcelona. He's having this sweet moment with Christine, who just got offered the chance to finish the term as district attorney. It's a huge moment for her. She's debating whether to take it, and Daniel just barges in, completely killing the vibe, whining about how he didn't get to go to Barcelona because of Tessa. He's walking around with this massively bruised ego. He's so bitter about it. But here is where the plot thickens, and this is what's keeping me up at night. Daniel literally asked Christine, "Hey, if you become the Da, do you have the power to overturn Mariah's plea deal?" Christine said no, it's up to the judge. But why is Daniel even asking that? Because he's obsessed with the Mariah situation too. He told Tessa to fix things with Mariah, so he wants Mariah's legal drama resolved so Tessa can be happy, even if it means he doesn't get to be with Tessa. Or maybe he wants Mariah in jail so Tessa is free. No, wait, that contradicts him telling Tessa to make up with her. See, my brain is jumping everywhere. The point is, Daniel and Abby are both hyper-focused on Mariah's legal fate, but from slightly different angles. So you have Abby, who is furious at her husband for trying to destroy Mariah. And you have Daniel, who is lonely, rejected by Tessa, and weirdly invested in Mariah's situation. Do you see where this is going? Abby and Daniel are suddenly spending all this time together. They are bonding over their mutual belief that Devon is being way too harsh on Mariah. They are becoming this little echo chamber of anti-Devon sentiment. Actually, no, first I should mention their history. Because if you're a new viewer, you might not know this, but Abby and Daniel have a past, like a romantic past. Way back during Abby's naked heiress days, remember that? I think it was around 2010 or 2011, somewhere around there. She was wild, she was doing publicity stunts, she was rebelling against Victor and the whole Newman corporate machine, and Daniel was. Well, Daniel was always kind of a brooding artist, photographer type, but they had this undeniable spark. He saw her for who she was, not just a trust fund baby. He captured her vulnerability. It was a completely different dynamic back then. They were younger, less burdened by billionaire corporate drama and prison sentences and custody battles. It's fascinating to think about them reconnecting now. They are completely different people. Or are they? Maybe Abby just wants to feel like that carefree naked heiress again, instead of a stressed out wife fighting with her vengeful husband in Chancellor Park. When she's with Devon right now, she just feels heavy. Everything is a moral debate. Everything is about justice and revenge and legal maneuvers. But with Daniel, she can just complain. She can just be messy. So picture this. Abby is avoiding Devon. She literally told him she is still hurt and angry. Devon is doubling down, refusing to back off the Mariah vendetta. Devon even tried to change the subject in the park, asking if she got his text about Lily and Holden Novak. Like, really, Devon? You're trying to casually gossip about Lily's love life when your wife is actively furious with you. Abby was just like, yeah, I got it, and immediately steered it back to his betrayal. The communication is completely broken. So Abby leaves the park, she goes to society, or maybe the GCAC, or Crimson Lights, and who is sitting there looking miserable? Daniel, they start talking. Devon is being impossible, Abby says. Tessa broke my heart, Daniel says. They start drinking. One thing leads to another. I mean, it's classic soap opera math. Sad wife plus lonely ex plus mutual grievance equals affair. It's basically a law of physics at this point in Genoa City. Let's really analyze Abby for a second, because her psychology is fascinating. She grew up as the Newman princess. She has this deep-seated need for things to be perfect, but she always sabotages them. Her marriage to Chance wasn't perfect, so she blew it up with Devon. Now her marriage to Devon isn't perfect. Devon is showing this dark, unforgiving side. He's acting a bit like Victor, honestly. He's making unilateral decisions, deciding what justice looks like for the whole family without consulting his partner. And Abby hates that. She wants the sweet, supportive Devon who helped her through the Dominic crisis. By going behind her back to the Da to overturn the plea deal, Devon broke her trust. Once Abby's trust is broken, she detaches. I can literally see her rationalizing an affair with Daniel in her head right now. Devon betrayed me first by lying about the plea deal, so I'm just finding comfort. I'm just talking to an old friend who understands me. It's toxic, but it's so in character for her. She uses other men as emotional lifeboats when her main ship starts sinking. And Daniel, what is his deal right now? He's grieving, he's rejected, he probably feels like a total loser. His mom, Christine, is out here getting offered the district attorney job, which, by the way, if she takes it, she's the one who is technically the face of the office that Devon is pressuring. Imagine that conflict of interest. Daniel sleeping with Abby, Abby fighting Devon, Devon fighting Mariah, and Christine holding the keys to the DA's office. My brain is literally exploding right now. But yeah, Daniel needs a win. He needs someone to look at him and say, "You're right, you're a good guy." Abby is giving him that validation. They are validating each other's victimhood. I know I'm probably jumping to conclusions here. Maybe they just stay friends. Maybe they just drink coffee and complain about their respective partners. But come on. This is The Young and the Restless. You don't just randomly bring up the fact that two characters with a romantic history are suddenly spending more time together and agreeing on controversial topics unless you're planting seeds for a hookup. I feel like the writers are leaving massive breadcrumbs. I notice the way they look at each other in the background of scenes. Probably doesn't matter, but I noticed it. It's like this shared exhaustion with their current lives. Let's talk about the potential fallout, because that's where my mind really starts spinning. Let's say they sleep together. How does Devon find out? Does he walk in on them? Does he find a text message? Or does Abby confess because the guilt eats her alive, just like she did with Chance? If Devon finds out, his anger is going to be apocalyptic. He's already in a vengeful, rigid headspace with Mariah. If he finds out his wife cheated on him with Daniel Romolodi, he might try to destroy Daniel's life too. He has the billionaire resources to do it. He could buy whatever company Daniel works for and fire him. He could ruin him financially and personally. The stakes are so incredibly high. But wait, am I contradicting myself? Okay, no, I just said Devon would be apocalyptic. But hear me out. What if Devon secretly wants out of the marriage too? What if his obsession with Mariah is actually a subconscious way of pushing Abby away because he's unhappy with her? No, that's too deep. Devon isn't that complicated when it comes to romance. He's just stubborn. He genuinely believes he is the moral authority in the room. He told Abby, "That's the only thing we could do and I feel it's worth it." He thinks he is protecting his family. He doesn't realize his protection is the exact thing driving his wife into another man's bed. It reminds me of the whole Nick, Sharon, and Phyllis triangle back in the day. Or actually, maybe more like when Phyllis cheated on Jack with Nick. I get my cheating scandals mixed up sometimes because there are literally so many, but the core psychology is always the same. People in Genoa City don't go to couples therapy when they have marital problems. They go to hotel rooms with their exes. Let's loop back to the naked heiress era because I really think it provides such crucial context for why Daniel is the perfect storm for Abby right now. Back then, Abby was desperately trying to carve out her own identity separate from Victor and Jack. Daniel was this edgy guy who validated her rebellion. If they reconnect now, it's going to be about that same validation. Abby feels unheard by Devon. Devon is just barking orders and making executive decisions. Daniel would listen to her. He would look at her with that same artistic, non-judgmental appreciation. It's a classic emotional affair transition. First, you complain about your spouse. Then you reminisce about the good old days when life was simpler. Then your hands touch over a cup of coffee. Then boom, you're waking up in the GCAC in last night's clothes, staring at the ceiling, wondering how you blew up your life again. And what about Tessa? Wait, I need to revisit Tessa for a second. Tessa's situation changed, which is why Daniel couldn't go to Barcelona. Daniel was literally complaining to his parents about this. He's walking around with this bruised ego because Tessa chose her messy marriage with Mariah over a fresh start with him. If Abby shows him a little bit of romantic attention, he is going to latch onto it like a life raft. It's actually kind of sad when you think about it. He's using Abby to get over the sting of Tessa's rejection, and Abby is using Daniel to get back at Devon's emotional unavailability. It's a mutual use situation. But they'll disguise it to themselves as finding a deep connection in a dark time. They'll convince themselves it's romantic destiny, not just trauma bonding. I keep thinking about Devon's exact words in the park. Is that the worst outcome? He genuinely believes Mariah belongs in a cell. Abby's face when he said that. She looked at him like he was a complete stranger. That's the moment. That's the exact moment the marriage fractured, in my opinion. When you look at your spouse and realize you don't share the same core values about forgiveness, mercy, and justice. Abby has done bad things in her past. Devon has done bad things. They've all been forgiven by someone at some point. So Devon's sudden rigid moral superiority is deeply hypocritical to Abby, and she knows it. She can't respect a man who has no mercy, especially when she herself has needed so much mercy in the past again, cheating on Chance. So where does this leave us? We have a furious, stubborn Devon. We have an emotionally detached, historically unfaithful Abby. We have a lonely, rejected, nostalgic Daniel. And we have the looming specter of Mariah's legal fate and Christine's potential new job hanging over all of them. It's a powder keg. It's weird. Like, really weird. The whole thing is just weird. Anyway, my brain is completely fried. I'm just typing out loud at this point, and I've probably repeated myself 3 times. But I'm telling you, keep an eye on Abby and Daniel. The friends comforting each other act is just phase 1. We are heading straight for a massive cheating scandal, and honestly, I'm kind of here for it. It's going to blow up the Winters family, the Romalotti family, and half the town. What was I saying? Oh right, Abby and Daniel. Definitely happening, probably, or maybe not. I don't know. We'll see. Let me know what you guys think in the comments because I need someone else to overanalyze this with me.